Hey guys, welcome to a beautiful day here in San Jose. And today I wanted to take you guys on a food tour throughout the Bay Area in order to find the best cheesesteak. And if you remember, a few months back, I made a video in Philadelphia and I tried 10 of the best cheesesteaks out there. And someone in the comments asked, where's the best cheesesteak in the Bay Area? Well, today is time to find out. So I'm starting right here in San Jose and I'm headed to this spot right here called Amato's Cheesesteaks. And it's said to have the best cheesesteak in San Jose. So I'm right here on Saratoga Avenue and let's go inside and check out Amato's. All right guys, so let's head into Amato's here on Saratoga Avenue. Stepping into Amato's, you'll notice that it's a small eatery that originated in New Jersey many years ago by the Dill family. And if you've ever been, you know that South Jersey is just a stone's throw away from Philadelphia. So after moving to California, the Dill family decided to open a cheesesteak shop since there weren't any good cheesesteaks being made with the same quality as Philadelphia and New Jersey. And here at Amato's, they use a 100% USDA choice top round for the cheesesteaks here. All right guys, here's a close-up of the menu here at Amato's. So they have 4 different sizes. They have a shorty, they have a half, which is 12 inches, and also a whole, which is 24 inches of cheesesteak. So they have the classic cheesesteak hoagie, which includes like lettuce, tomatoes, other items. They have chicken cheesesteaks, pizza steak, and these are some of the toppings that they offer, which include grilled mushrooms, bell peppers, cherry peppers, bacon, and also they have hoagies available, which include the Italian hoagie, ham and cheese, tuna, turkey, and other sandwiches like the chicken parm, meatball sandwich, and even a veggie sandwich. So can't wait to try the cheesesteak here at Amato's. All right guys, here's a close-up of the food here at Amato. So I got some French fries as well as the Works cheesesteak, and it was highly recommended that I order the Works, which includes bell peppers as well as mushrooms, which isn't traditional, but they recommended it. And yeah, as you can see, this is actually a shorty. So it's a smaller, the smallest of the cheesesteaks here, but it's still very large, as you can see. All right guys, so I'm excited to just get my food here at Amato's, and these will be the first cheesesteaks I've had since going to Philadelphia. After eating 10 cheesesteaks in Philadelphia, I was cheesesteak wasted. So months later, I still haven't eaten one, and this will be my first one here at Amato's. So this one, of course, I've seen on TikTok, and I've heard a lot about. Many people say this is the best cheesesteak in San Jose. So I'll be able to find out today. So you may wonder, what constitutes a good cheesesteak? Well, a cheesesteak is usually a pretty simple item with maybe about 4 ingredients. It always starts with the bread. That is the foundation of eating a good cheesesteak. So it's supposed to be a little crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, be able to keep from getting soggy because of the ingredients, and also it should have like a little bit of a chew to it. And that's what a classic Philadelphia cheesesteak will have, is that nice bread that comes from those excellent Italian bakeries in Philadelphia. Also, the quality of meat is key. Most places traditionally will use a ribeye. And even though ribeye is the traditional meat of choice for cheesesteaks, I can think of 2 very popular cheesesteak spots in Philadelphia that use other cuts. For example, John's Roast Pork uses a top round. Also, Max's uses a top sirloin. So very good cheesesteaks can be made with other cuts of meat besides a ribeye. And another very important part of a cheesesteak is the type of cheese used. So traditionally, it's going to be either a Cheese Whiz, American cheese, or provolone. And in the case for Amato's, I chose an American cheese. And in Philadelphia, they have a special cheese called Cooper Sharp, which is like an American cheese, but a little bolder. And so a key ingredient is that the cheese be integrated well with the meat, so that with each bite, you taste cheese and meat. And another thing that's vital to a cheesesteak is also the onion. So if you ever go to see them make the cheesesteaks, you'll see them grilling the onions on the griddle. And it has to be caramelized well so that it adds that delicious taste of the onions, adds a little hint of sweetness and flavor to the cheesesteak. So all those aspects make for a good cheesesteak. So now, without further ado, let's go ahead and take the first bite of the Amato's cheesesteak here in San Jose. And as you can see here, it's a nice sized cheesesteak. Even the shorty for $14 or $15, not a bad deal. So first bite. So the first thing I noticed right away is the richness of the cheese and the well-seasoned meat in this cheesesteak. The bread is solid. It holds up well. You can see it's not soggy at all. It's very soft and it has a little bit of a chew. So an excellent bread as well. Another thing worth noting is also how finely they cut the meat. So it's very similar to a place like D'Alessandro's in Philadelphia that chops it up really finely, whereas some other cheesesteak spots will leave the meat a little more whole. So with this particular style of chopping the meat, it makes it very easy to eat and consume. So a very simple sandwich that is so awesome. All right, now let me go ahead and try the fries here at Amato's. And first bite. Their fries are excellent here at Amato's. They're very potatoey and pillowy on the inside, nice and crispy on the outside. Very good French fries, and they give a lot. They are very generous with the portion of fries, so it's best to share it. So if you get one order, share it. If you have two people, order the half, and that would be easily enough for two people, because already eating the half of the shorty, I'm already starting to feel full. So very good cheesesteak here. Let me go ahead and take another bite, and let me give you guys a little bit of an up close of the cheesesteak here at Amato's. And this is, of course, as I mentioned, the works. So let's take another bite. So what I really love about the cheesesteak here at Amato's is the amount of meat they give. They're very generous. So with every bite, you get a nice taste of the delicious tender meat that they use, along with the cheese that's integrated very well within the sandwich. Very good cheesesteak. The bread is solid. Obviously, if you go to Philly, their bread is just unbelievable. This is a decent bread, so I'm going to give the sandwich here an 8.5. A very good cheesesteak here in San Jose. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this cheesesteak here at Amato's and head to my next stop for the best cheesesteak in the Bay Area. All right, guys, so now I'm here in San Francisco in the Mission District in search of the best cheesesteak. And I'm right in front of this spot right here called Jake's Steaks. And it's said to have one of the best cheesesteaks in San Francisco. So come with me inside and let's check it out. Walking into Jake's Steaks, you'll notice the Philadelphia theme throughout the restaurant. From the Reading Terminal Market, the Phillies 76ers Eagles, and the South Street mural right in the front. They also boast that they carry Amoroso rolls, which of course is shipped directly from Philadelphia. They also have a large mural representing one of the lakes located in Philadelphia. And of course, a lot of sports memorabilia from the Phillies, the Eagles, and the 76ers. And they play live games in both locations, both at Lombard and here on Valencia. All right, guys, here's a close-up of the menu here at Jake's Steaks. So they have all the different styles of cheesesteaks, from the original, the mushroom, they have buffalo, chicken, pizza, barbecue. Reuben's cheesesteak, bacon, and one very popular one also is the Jake's cheesesteak, which has mushrooms, bacon, pepperoni. So it's a fully loaded cheesesteak. They also have burgers available, like Jake's Burger. Many different styles of burgers. They also have sandwiches, which include chicken parmesan, eggplant parmesan, Italian hoagies, club sandwiches. They have salads and also waffle fries, as well as Philly steak fries as well. So can't wait to try the cheesesteak here. All right, guys, so I just received my food here at Jake's Steaks, and this is the cheesesteak, which is $15.99 here in San Francisco. And as you can see here, they give a nice portion of steak along with the melted cheese inside and grilled onions. Can't wait to try it, and along with it, they provide some waffle fries. So looking forward to trying the cheesesteak here at Jake's Steaks. Guys, so I'm excited to be here at my second location for a Philly cheesesteak, and I'm at Jake's Steaks here in San Francisco on Valencia. And actually they have the main location is located on Lombard, and that's a location that's been around for 20 years where they show all the Eagles games, Philadelphia Phillies games, as well as 76ers games. So if you guys want the full Philadelphia experience, you would want to check out their main location over on Lombard. But for today, I wanted to focus on just the cheesesteak here on their location here on Valencia. And as you saw in the close-up, the cheesesteak looks delicious. It very much so reminds me of the cheesesteaks in Philadelphia with the use of the traditional Amoroso roll, as you see here. It's piping hot to the touch, so you know that it's a freshly made. And here I can tell just looking at it. And they give a nice portion of steak inside this cheesesteak, and the cheese is melted in really nicely within the cheesesteak. So let me go ahead and take the first bite and let you know how it tastes. First bite, Jake's Steaks. So the Amoroso roll is so tender and soft, really easy to bite into. It holds the cheesesteak really well, so you notice it's not soggy at all. And the meat that they have, the cheese is integrated really well within the steak. So when I took that bite, I tasted that rich, gooey American cheese within the steak. And you know, actually, in the original cheesesteak that was created back in 1930 by Pat Oliveri and his brother Harry in South Philadelphia, the original cheesesteak actually didn't even have cheese in it. But in the 1930s, Pat invented a cheesesteak and it became a hit. Then by 1940, cheese was added and it became a Philadelphia classic ever since. And that's how today's cheesesteak was invented. And adding cheese really takes it over the top, especially here at Jake's. So after taking the next couple bites of this cheesesteak, what stands out also is the delicious onions that they put in. So they grill the onions, and you can taste the caramelized onions within the cheese and the steak itself. A very good cheesesteak. If I was to compare it to a cheesesteak in Philadelphia, the closest thing that this reminds me of is Jim's on South Street. The use of Amoroso roll is the very same that they use at Jim's, and the way they cut the meat, which is finely cut within the cheesesteak, makes it really easy to eat. Very similar also to Amato's, in that the cheesesteak goes down real smooth with each bite. And the cheese is very rich, so with each bite you taste the meatiness of the steak as well as the richness of the cheese, along with a hint of sweet with the onions and the excellent Amoroso roll. Let me move on to the waffle fries that they give here. And they give a generous portion here as well of waffle fries. Let me put a little bit of ketchup on. And let me go ahead and take the first bite of the waffle fries here at Jake's Steaks. So, just a disclaimer, I'm not a huge fan of waffle fries in general, but these are classic waffle fries. They're crunchy on the outside, not very dense on the inside, so it's kind of hollow. So if you just like having like crunchy fries or something that's closer to chips, these are excellent. But I usually tend to like the bigger fries like at Amato's, but decent waffle fries here. And this cheesesteak, I'll tell you this, that this is very close in taste to authentic cheesesteak in Philadelphia. Every bite I take reminds me of Philadelphia. So if you want a cheesesteak that's very similar to the classic traditional cheesesteak in Philly, come to Jake's Steaks. It's very similar. So as I mentioned, you know, this cheesesteak hits on all cylinders, every aspect, the simpleness of the cheesesteak, everything's here. I'm going to give this a 8.6, a very good cheesesteak here in San Francisco, worthy of checking out if you're here. So let me go ahead and finish this up, and I'll head to my next location for the best cheesesteak in the Bay Area. I'm still in San Francisco, headed to my third location for the best cheesesteak in the Bay Area, and I'm right here in the North Beach area. And this is, I'll have to say, one of my favorite food neighborhoods in the whole world, because you get delicious cioppino, pizza, even Chinese food is right across the street. Molinari's is right in front of me, which is a very popular Italian deli. But right behind me is where I'm headed, and it's called Buster's Cheesesteaks. And this place, of course, is famous for the namesake cheesesteak. So come with me inside, and let's check out the third location for the best cheesesteak in the Bay Area. Walking into this restaurant, you'll realize it's a small hole in the wall, but it's known as a San Francisco institution that has been around for 53 years. And this restaurant is situated at 366 Columbus Avenue, and it's a notable spot in San Francisco's North Beach. It's a legendary late night spot that serves Philadelphia style cheesesteaks as well as fries, and it has a very vibrant, small atmosphere. And here you can see the chef preparing my cheesesteak with a sliced ribeye steak. After thoroughly cooking that meat, along with the onions mixed inside, then on the griddle, he adds 4 slices of provolone cheese. He gives it a moment to melt onto the steak, and then puts the generous portion of meat, cheese, and onions onto the bread roll, as you can see here. Here's an up close of the menu at Buster's, and you can see all the cheesesteak sandwiches available, and they are the most reasonably priced I've run into. A small is $10.55, a large is $12.75, and they have many different kinds like the Philly cheese, the North Beach, as well as a mushroom Philly cheesesteak as well. They also have half-pound burgers available, like the Buster's burger, bacon burger, mushroom burger, a veggie burger, veggie sandwich, and hot dogs are available. And so a simple menu, but definitely has delicious food on it. All right, guys, here's a close-up of the cheesesteak that I got here at Buster's. So they use ribeye here at Buster's, and you can see the onions as well as the provolone cheese that I chose for this particular cheesesteak. So can't wait to try Buster's cheesesteak here in North Beach. All right, guys, so I'm happy to be at my third location for the best cheesesteak in the Bay Area, and I'm here at Buster's, and as you saw in the close-up, the cheesesteak looks amazing here. In fact, visually, this is the best looking cheesesteak of the bunch, and here they actually use 100% ribeye. So it's traditionally made with ribeye, and here at Buster's, they follow that recipe here. And also, I got the traditional provolone that comes with the cheesesteak. So let's go ahead and take the first bite. And here you can see, not just visually, but they give a ton of meat. So first bite of Buster's. So after the first bite, right away, I could taste how they keep the meat a little more whole than the other spots. This is very similar to like Old Brother Philly in Philadelphia, where they leave the ribeye a little more bigger pieces, so you get more of a meaty bite when you bite into the cheesesteak. It's a little bit greasy, which is the way I like it. I'm The provolone is melted nicely in here. And you know, sometimes it's hard to differentiate good cheesesteaks. Like for example, like a herd of zebras. They're all kind of look the same, but obviously some will be a little taller than the other. Maybe the stripes are a little different. So at each location of cheesesteak spots I go to, there's just little variations. So for example, Amato's, I thought what stood out was the meat. It was a nice, well-seasoned meat there. Then when I went to Jake's Steaks, I thought the cheese along with the Amato roll was amazing. But so far, with that first bite, I gotta say that Buster's is the most well-rounded cheesesteak. They use the best quality of steak as well. So it's very delicious, that first bite. You also can see the nice cheese pull with this provolone, so the cheese is very good. Excellent cheesesteak here. Along with the cheesesteak, I got some crinkle fries here with some cheese whiz. So let me go ahead and take a bite of this in between bites of the cheesesteak. So first bite of the cheese fries here at Buster's. So you guys like nacho cheese and flavors like that, this actually has some bite to it. I don't know if they put some jalapeno within the cheese whiz, but I know us right away. There's a little bit of a heat factor to this cheese whiz. So if you like cheese fries, they also make it here. Very delicious. Goes perfect with the cheesesteak. Hey guys, this Buster's cheesesteak really impresses me here. And on average, they sell an average of 300 cheesesteaks per day. So it's a very popular spot here in North Beach. Despite there being so much wonderful food in this neighborhood, Buster's holds its own in this neighborhood. And just to give you a little example, in Philadelphia, Gino says they make an average of 3,000 a day because they're open 24 hours. And Pat's also says that over a whole weekend, that they can sell up to 6,000 cheesesteaks. So in Philadelphia, it's a real staple, but here in the Bay Area, here in San Francisco, Buster's is a staple that I have to say is up there in the cheesesteak hierarchy. A very delicious cheesesteak here at Buster's. Not to mention, they char the onions very nicely. Has a nice caramelization on the onions, along with the nice sized pieces of ribeye. Just a combination of the flavors. Such a simple sandwich, but so flavorful here. Very good. I'm gonna go ahead and rate this. This is a 9.3. Very good cheesesteak here. The bread holds it very well. It's nice and soft and tender, but holds all the meat and avoids being soggy as well. So good quality bread that they use here at Buster's. So definitely worth checking out. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of this cheesesteak here at Buster's. But definitely, if you're in San Francisco, this is worth checking out here in North Beach. So I'm gonna finish this up and let's head to the next cheesesteak spot in the East Bay. Alright guys, I'm now in the East Bay for my 4th cheesesteak on this cheesesteak tour throughout the Bay Area, and I'm headed to a spot that has actually over 20 locations in the Bay Area, so no matter what county you're in, you'll be able to get a cheesesteak here, and it's called the Cheesesteak Shop. So come with me inside and let's get a cheesesteak. Upon walking in, you get to see the story of the Cheesesteak Shop. Keith and Kathy Layden founded the business back in 1982, and these two East Coast transplants opened their first cheesesteak shop in San Francisco with one mission: to bring the real deal Philly-style sandwich to the West Coast. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just hot, messy perfection on an Amato roll shipped from Philly. And here you can see homage to all the famous cheesesteak spots in Philly, which includes D'Alessandro's, as you see here. Of course, the famous Gino's Steaks, and also Jim's Steaks over on South Street. Here's a close-up of the menu here at the Cheesesteak Shop. So you can see they have the regular classic Philly cheesesteak on the far left. Regular is $7.79, a large is $12.29. They also have a King of Philly, which is $15. Of course, they have ones that have different items in it. The premium cheesesteaks, the South Philly, the pizza steak, sizzling pig, Philly Joe's. They have vegetarian options as well. They also carry salads, as you see here, kids meals, fries, curly fries, onion rings, and of course drinks, and all the toppings that are available. So can't wait to try the cheesesteak here at this Cheesesteak Shop. All right, guys, here's a close-up of the cheesesteak that I got here at the Cheesesteak Shop. So they added a few hot peppers along with the cheese and the meat. So can't wait to try the cheesesteak here at the Cheesesteak Shop, which is very popular in the Bay Area. I'm happy to be here at my 4th location for a cheesesteak and my first one here in the East Bay. And as I mentioned, this Cheesesteak Shop is located throughout the Bay Area. So if you like the cheesesteak or how it looks here, it's very close to wherever you are within the Bay Area. And if you were to take a consensus of people and ask them where the best cheesesteak is in the Bay Area, many people will tell you that the Cheesesteak Shop has the best one. So let's find out. Here you can see the close-up I showed you guys. This is the King of Philly for $15. It's a pretty big size. So here they use a sirloin, similar to Max's in Philadelphia, that also uses sirloin. Here's a close-up of the cross-section of the cheesesteak, and of course here they use the same bread as at Jake's Steaks and D'Alessandro's back in Philadelphia, which is the Amoroso roll. So let's go ahead and take the first bite, and I'll let you know how it tastes. So the first thing I notice is the boldness of the American cheese that they use. And here, if you notice, they mince up the meat really well. Probably more minced than any of the other cheesesteak locations that I've gone to. So it's almost like ground beef. I think overall the seasoning is pretty good. The Amoroso roll, of course, is excellent bread that is used for cheesesteaks. It's not my favorite bread from Philly. I like the Karanji as well as the Sarconi's bread in Philadelphia a little better, but Amoroso roll is a universal, well-liked bread for cheesesteak. So always a solid choice if you're going to have a cheesesteak, and they use it here at the Cheesesteak Shop. Just finished my first half of the cheesesteak, and I'm going to start working on the second half. But let me go ahead and score this cheesesteak. I'll give it a 7.4, a serviceable cheesesteak. So if you need your cheesesteak fix, it's located throughout the Bay Area, and they make a decent cheesesteak here. 7.4. So after I finish this cheesesteak, let's head to the next location for another cheesesteak. All right, I'm already at my next location for cheesesteaks, and the reason I chose Lakeshore Avenue is there's 2 very popular cheesesteak spots on this street. And my next location is about a block away from the Cheesesteak Shop, and it's called IB's Cheesesteaks. And they're also said to have a delicious cheesesteak. So let's go inside. All right, guys, here's a close-up of the menu here at IB's. So you can see all the cheesesteaks that are available. They have the IB's Original, like a regular Philly cheese. They also have a Surf and Turf, truffle cheese steak, spicy buffalo ranch. So they have many different flavors of cheesesteaks to choose from. They also have burgers, as well as sandwiches, like a pastrami sandwich, a veggie combo, BLT. And they have many different types of fries to choose from, which include cheese fries, bacon fries, and they also have fried chicken. So a nice variety of food to choose from here at IB's. All right, guys, so I just got my cheesesteak here at IB's, and it looks really good visually. They use a local bread, and they also have halal meat here, and you can see they leave the steak much more whole at this location. And it looks like the cheese is melted on really nicely within this sandwich. So I can't wait to try the cheesesteak here at IB's. All right, guys, so I'm happy to be here at my 5th location, just a block away from the Cheesesteak Shop, and I'm here at IB's, and as you saw on the close-up visually, this cheesesteak looks amazing. And also what I already appreciated when I looked at the sandwich up close was the fact that they leave the steak much more whole within this cheesesteak. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I definitely prefer when there's a more meaty bite, having bigger pieces of steak. And here they boast having halal meat, so if that's something that you want to have, they do have all halal meat here, except of course the bacon, which of course is pork, so that is not halal. But they melt the cheese on really nicely, as you saw in the close-up, and here you can see the steam just rolling off, so it's still very hot. But so let me go ahead and take my first bite of the IB's cheesesteak here. So that was a very enjoyable first bite. The first thing I noticed was the excellent bread they use. So just because they don't use Amoroso or bread from Philadelphia doesn't mean that they don't have good local bread here. This bread is a little bit toasted or crispy on the outside. The interior is very soft and has a nice snap or a nice chew to it when I bit into it. The steak is seasoned very nicely here, and that first bite was nice and meaty and cheesy with that first bite. Let me take another bite. So with that next bite, what I do like also is that this quality provolone cheese that they use over the steak. It's melted on really nicely. I also, as I mentioned, like how the steak is left a little more whole, so it's a very meaty, cheesy bite with each bite. And of course the bread is excellent. So every aspect is pretty solid here. I'm gonna go ahead and score this 7.8. A very good cheesesteak here in Oakland. Definitely worth checking out. They have 2 locations, one here in Oakland, and they also have a location on Telegraph in Berkeley. So if you're in the Berkeley area or if you're in the Oakland area, you can check out IB's for a halal cheesesteak. And they've been serving the community here since 1991. So they've been around for quite a long time, and they're successful because they make a good cheesesteak. So 7.8, delicious cheesesteak. I'm going to continue to work on this cheesesteak, and let's head to the last location for the best cheesesteak in the Bay Area. Alright guys, so now I'm at my last location for the best cheesesteaks in the Bay Area, and I'm now located in San Mateo County in Half Moon Bay. And some of you guys may be watching this video and be wondering, how did you not go to Mills while you were in Oakland? Well, I've worked in Oakland for almost 20 years and have lived there for 12. So I'll be making a video about East Oakland and some of the best eats out there. So I wanted to save Mills for that video. But for this cheesesteak video, my last location is right here in Half Moon Bay, and it's called Jersey Joe's. And they're known for having some really authentic cheesesteaks and one of the best in the Bay. So come with me inside and let's check it out. Here's a little tour of the restaurant. It's a pretty large dining area, and they have a lot of television sets. And this is the first week of football, so if you get a cheesesteak here, you can watch some of the football games. Here's, of course, the location where they cook the cheesesteaks. And as you can see, the dining room wraps around to the other side. And on this side, they have a lot of sports memorabilia, like Giants photos of their championships. They also have other photos of Half Moon Bay, Mavericks, surfing competitions, and more TVs back here. So nice little area to dine at here at Jersey Joe's. All right guys, here's a close-up of the menu here at Jersey Joe's in Half Moon Bay. So you can see all the different types of cheesesteaks they have, and they boast 100% premium ribeye, sliced daily. They also use a white American cheese along with, of course, their twice grilled onions along with a soft steak roll. And here you can see all the different types of cheesesteaks they have, which includes, of course, the original mushroom, pepper, pizza, a bacon one, pepperoni, the works, a chicken cheesesteak as well, other add-ons. They also have burgers and cheesesteak combos. Hoagies are available, which include Italian, ham, turkey, salami, a tuna sandwich, along with burgers like Jersey style burger, California style, patty melt, and other types of burgers are available here. And on the other side of the menu, you can see the sandwiches, which include Reuben's, chicken breast sandwich, a fish sandwich, tuna melt, grilled cheese. They also have a kids menu, drinks, salads, and also sides are available, which include fries, sweet potato fries, buffalo wings, onion rings. And here you can see their sign here, Jersey Joe's Coastside. And here's all the awards that they've won throughout the years. Open 7 days a week, 11 to 9. Here at Jersey Joe's Coastside in Half Moon Bay, they pride themselves in carrying all local products. So they source their ribeye from a local butcher, along with the bread, which comes from Pacific Coast Bakery, which is located in South San Francisco. As you can see here, he's preparing my cheesesteak, mixing in the onions and cooking the ribeye on the griddle. He then will add the cheese, and he toasts the cheesesteak bread on the griddle as well. Thank you. Appreciate it. Here's a close-up of the cheesesteak here at Jersey Joe's. So as you can see, they leave the ribeye a little more whole, which is, of course, something that I do like. You can see that the cheese and the onions are integrated really well within this cheesesteak, along with this bread that's crispy on the outside and plush on the inside. So can't wait to try the cheesesteak here. And also got some curly fries along with my meal and a drink. So can't wait to try the cheesesteak here at Jersey Joe's. All right, guys, so I'm excited to be here at my 6th location and my last location for this cheesesteak tour around the Bay Area. And here in Half Moon Bay, they have Jersey Joe's. And I've never been to this particular location, but maybe 5 or 6 years ago, they used to have a location over in San Carlos. And that was one of the best cheesesteaks I've ever had in the Bay Area. And of course, unfortunately, they closed a few years back, but they did make an excellent cheesesteak there. So I have high hopes for this cheesesteak here in Half Moon Bay. And just a little description of the sandwich here. Here's a close-up of the cross section. So the bread that they use is from Pacific Coast, which is located in South San Francisco and is considered a highly rated bread in the Bay Area. So nice local bread that's baked daily for Jersey Joe's. And of course, as mentioned in the menu, they also slice their ribeye daily fresh. So very good, high quality ingredients. You can see that they combine the onions, the cheese, and the ribeye really well within this sandwich. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take the first bite of the cheesesteak here at Jersey Joe's. Let me tell you guys, after that first bite, I can say without a doubt that out of the 6 cheesesteak spots I went to, this is the highest quality meat that I've had. The ribeye they use here has an excellent flavor to it, and you can tell through the texture that this is the best quality premium meat that I've had in a cheesesteak. This is very similar to the wonderful cheesesteak that's being served in Philadelphia itself. So a very authentic cheesesteak here. The way they integrate all the flavors is really good. So with that first bite, I tasted the meaty steakiness of the ribeye, along with that bold American cheese, and the onions really stand out. They do an excellent job of caramelizing and grilling the onions on the griddle. So what an amazing first bite. But let me go ahead and take another bite and enjoy this sandwich here. The next thing that I do notice about this cheesesteak also is this excellent bread from Pacific Coast. This doesn't get soggy at all, so it holds the moistness of the ingredients really well. It's a perfect flavor to go along with the cheesesteak. So even though, you know, it's not Amoroso, which of course is authentically Philadelphian, this bread is excellent. They have excellent local bread that can be used for cheesesteaks, and this is a good example of it. So overall, this cheesesteak is hitting in every aspect, both the meat quality, the cheese, the onions, the bread. Very good cheesesteak. But let me go ahead and try the curly fries here. So look how much they give too. What a huge portion. So this is something that you'd want to share with another person, not something that could be eaten by yourself. But let me go ahead and take a first bite of curly fries. And ever since I had curly fries for the first time, Jack in the Box many years ago, anytime it's available on the menu, I always order it. So as you can expect, it's seasoned nicely. It has that nice exterior crunch as I bite into it, and of course it has like a pillowy potato-ness inside. Let me put it up to the mic so you could hear it. Delicious fries here at Jersey Joe's as well. Get the curly fries, they're very good. But let me go ahead and take another bite of this cheesesteak. And here, let me show you the cross section of it again. And even though I didn't finish my first half, I want to take a bite of the second half of this cheesesteak. So I'm going to go ahead and rate this cheesesteak. This cheesesteak here at Jersey Joe's is a 9.5. A delicious, authentic, as close as it can get to a Philly cheesesteak in Philadelphia. So I'm going to go ahead and enjoy the rest of my meal here. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I'm going to attach the video to my Philadelphia cheesesteak video in Philadelphia at the end of this video, so you can watch that and my experience there in Philadelphia. But always, I appreciate your guys' support for watching my videos, and please comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.